Listen closely, because what I'm about to share with you will fundamentally change how you understand attraction forever. Right now, as you're watching this, millions of men around the world are failing miserably with women. Not because they're ugly, not because they're poor, not because they lack some magical genetic gift, but because they completely misunderstand what attraction actually is. They think it's about what you say, what you wear, or how much money you have in your bank account. But the truth is so much deeper, so much more powerful, and once you understand it, you'll never see human interaction the same way again. What if I told you that attraction isn't something that happens to you, but something you can systematically create? What if I told you that the most magnetically attractive men in the world aren't necessarily the best-looking, the richest, or the most charming, but simply the ones who understand the fundamental psychological principles that govern human desire? Today, we're going deep into the science of attraction, the psychology behind what makes someone irresistibly magnetic, and most importantly, how you can develop these same qualities authentically within yourself. But here's where most guys get it wrong from the start. They think attraction is about convincing someone to like them. They think it's about performing, about putting on a show, about becoming someone they're not. This mindset is not just ineffective, it's completely backwards. Real attraction isn't about convincing anyone of anything. It's about becoming the type of person that others naturally gravitate toward. It's about understanding the deep psychological triggers that create genuine desire and developing those qualities within yourself until they become second nature. The men who truly understand attraction don't chase, they attract. They don't convince, they compel. They don't perform, they simply are. And this isn't some mystical concept or new age nonsense. This is hardcore psychology, backed by decades of research in social psychology, evolutionary psychology, and behavioral science. When you understand the mechanisms behind attraction, when you understand what's really happening in the human brain when someone feels drawn to another person, you can begin to cultivate those same qualities within yourself. Let's start with the most fundamental truth about attraction that most men never learn. Attraction is not a choice. It's not a logical decision that someone makes after weighing pros and cons about you. It's an involuntary response that happens at a subconscious level, triggered by specific psychological and biological cues that have been hardwired into us through millions of years of evolution. When someone feels attracted to you, they're not thinking about it, they're not analyzing it, they're just feeling it. And those feelings are triggered by very specific things that you can learn to embody. The first and most crucial element of authentic attraction is what psychologists call social proof and status. But forget everything you think you know about status. This isn't about designer clothes or expensive cars or job titles. Real status, the kind that creates genuine attraction, is about how you carry yourself, how you interact with the world, and most importantly, how others respond to you. Status is communicated through body language, through vocal tonality, through the way you move through space, and through the way you command attention without demanding it. Think about this for a moment. When you see someone who has real presence, real magnetism, what is it that you notice first? It's not what they're wearing or what they're saying, it's how they carry themselves. It's the confidence in their posture, the steadiness in their voice, the way they seem completely comfortable in their own skin. This is what psychologists call embodied confidence, and it's the foundation of all genuine attraction. But here's what's crucial to understand about confidence. Real confidence isn't something you can fake or perform. It's not about acting cocky or trying to appear superior to others. Real confidence comes from deep self-knowledge, from understanding your own value, from having a strong sense of purpose and direction in your life. It comes from the inner work of becoming someone you genuinely respect and admire. When you have this kind of authentic confidence, it radiates from you naturally. People can sense it immediately, and they're drawn to it like a magnet. The second fundamental principle of attraction is what evolutionary psychologists call preselection. This is the unconscious tendency for people to be more attracted to individuals who are already desired by others. It's why the most attractive people often seem to be surrounded by other attractive people. It's why someone who's in a relationship often seems more desirable than when they were single. This isn't about being manipulative or playing games. It's about understanding that attraction often builds upon itself, and that the way to become more attractive is to focus on building genuine connections and relationships with high-quality people in all areas of your life. when you're someone who has strong friendships, who's respected in your professional life, who has interests and passions that connect you with like-minded people, you naturally develop the kind of social proof that makes you more attractive. People can sense when someone is well-connected, when they're valued by others, when they're living a full and interesting life. This isn't about bragging or name-dropping. It's about being genuinely engaged with the world around you in a way that creates natural abundance in your social life. The third crucial element is what psychologists call emotional intelligence and social calibration. This is your ability to read social situations, to understand what's happening beneath the surface of interactions, to pick up on subtle cues and respond appropriately. Men who are truly attractive have developed a sophisticated understanding of human psychology. They can sense when someone is comfortable or uncomfortable. They know when to escalate and when to back off. They understand the difference between confidence and arrogance, between being challenging and being rude, between being mysterious and being unavailable. This level of social intelligence doesn't happen overnight. It requires genuine curiosity about human nature. It requires paying attention to how people respond to different types of communication, different energy levels, different approaches. It requires developing empathy and emotional awareness. The most attractive men are often the ones who make others feel most comfortable being themselves. They create an emotional environment where people feel safe to be vulnerable, to be authentic, to let their guard down. But here's where things get really interesting from a psychological perspective. Attraction isn't just about what you do or how you behave, it's also about what you don't do. Some of the most powerful aspects of attraction are actually about restraint, about what psychologists call scarcity and mystery. When someone is too available, too eager, too transparent about their interest, it actually decreases attraction. This isn't about playing hard to get or being manipulative. It's about understanding that genuine desire requires some element of uncertainty, some space for imagination, some sense that this person has their own life and priorities that don't revolve around you. The most attractive people maintain their own sense of independence and purpose even when they're interested in someone. They don't drop everything to be available. They don't change their plans or compromise their values to please someone else. They maintain their own standards and boundaries while remaining open to connection. This creates what psychologists call tension, which is absolutely essential for attraction. Without tension, without some element of challenge or uncertainty, relationships become predictable and boring. Now let's talk about one of the most misunderstood aspects of attraction, the role of challenge and emotional stimulation. Many men make the mistake of thinking that being nice, being agreeable, being accommodating is the path to attraction. But research in social psychology shows us something very different. People are most attracted to those who provide emotional stimulation, who create feelings of excitement and uncertainty, who are unpredictable in positive ways. This doesn't mean being rude or disrespectful. It means being willing to disagree when you genuinely disagree. It means having your own opinions and values and not being afraid to express them. It means being playful and teasing in a way that creates fun tension rather than conflict. It means being someone who adds excitement and energy to interactions rather than someone who just goes along with whatever the other person wants. The most attractive men understand that attraction thrives on polarity. There needs to be some element of difference, some creative tension, some sense that this interaction could go in multiple directions. When you're too predictable, too safe, too much of what someone expects, you eliminate the psychological conditions that create desire. But when you maintain your own authentic personality while being genuinely interested in the other person, you create the kind of dynamic tension that makes interactions memorable and exciting. Let's dive deeper into the neurochemistry of attraction, because understanding what's happening in the brain during attraction gives you incredible insight into how to create these experiences authentically. When someone feels attracted to you, their brain is literally being flooded with chemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, and phenylethylamine. These are the same chemicals involved in excitement, anticipation, and even addiction. This is why attraction can feel so intense, so consuming, so overwhelming. But here's the key insight. These chemicals aren't released by safety and predictability. They're released by novelty, by uncertainty, by anticipation. This is why the most attractive interactions often involve some element of push and pull, some mixture of connection and space, some balance between showing interest and maintaining independence. When you understand this neurochemical reality, You can begin to create interactions that naturally stimulate these positive feelings. This is where the concept of emotional range becomes crucial. Most men operate within a very narrow emotional range. They're either trying to be nice and pleasant all the time, or they're trying to be cool and aloof all the time. But the most attractive men have developed a full emotional range. They can be playful and serious, confident and vulnerable, challenging and supportive, mysterious and open. This emotional complexity creates the kind of rich, multi-dimensional interactions that people find deeply engaging. Think about the most charismatic people you've ever met. What made them so compelling wasn't that they were perfect or that they never showed any weakness. It was that they were fully human. They could laugh at themselves while also being confident. They could be strong while also being emotionally available. They could be successful while also being humble. This authenticity, this willingness to be a complete person rather than a one-dimensional character, is incredibly attractive. The fourth fundamental principle of attraction is purpose and passion. People are magnetically drawn to those who have a clear sense of direction in their lives, who are passionate about something beyond just relationships and dating. When you have genuine enthusiasm for your work, your hobbies, your goals, your growth, it creates an energy that others want to be around. Purpose gives you natural confidence because you know what you're about. It gives you interesting things to talk about. It makes you less needy because your sense of fulfillment doesn't depend entirely on other people's approval. But here's what's crucial about purpose. It has to be genuine. You can't fake passion for something just because you think it will make you more attractive. People can sense authenticity from a mile away. The most attractive version of yourself is the version that's genuinely engaged with becoming the best version of yourself. Whether that's in your career, your fitness, your creativity, your spirituality, your contribution to the world, whatever it is, when you're genuinely committed to growth and excellence, it shows. This brings us to one of the most important but often overlooked aspects of attraction, the ability to be present. In our hyper-connected, constantly distracted world, the ability to give someone your full attention has become incredibly rare and therefore incredibly attractive. When you're truly present with someone, when you're not checking your phone, when you're not thinking about what you're going to say next, when you're genuinely curious and engaged with what they're sharing, it creates a profound sense of connection. Presence isn't just about paying attention. It's about being comfortable with silence, with moments of uncertainty, with the natural rhythms of conversation. It's about not feeling like you need to fill every pause with words or entertainment. The most attractive men have developed the ability to be comfortable with themselves and comfortable with others in a way that allows for natural, unforced connection. Now, let's address one of the biggest mistakes men make when trying to become more attractive: trying to be someone they're not. Authenticity isn't just morally important, it's practically essential for genuine attraction. When you're pretending to be someone you're not, you create several problems. First, it's exhausting and unsustainable. Second, even if someone is attracted to the persona you're projecting, they're not actually attracted to you. Third, authentic people can sense inauthenticity, and it's deeply unattractive. The goal isn't to become someone else. The goal is to become the best, most developed, most attractive version of yourself. This means identifying your genuine strengths and developing them further. It means working on your genuine weaknesses without trying to hide them completely. It means embracing what makes you unique rather than trying to fit some generic template of attractiveness. This is where self-awareness becomes crucial. The most attractive men have spent time really understanding themselves. They know their values, their boundaries, their strengths, their growth areas. They've done the inner work to become genuinely confident rather than just appearing confident. They've developed their emotional intelligence, their communication skills, their ability to connect with others authentically. Let's talk about the role of challenge and standards in attraction. This is one of the most misunderstood concepts in dating psychology. Having standards doesn't mean being judgmental or critical. It means knowing what you want and being willing to wait for it. It means not being willing to compromise your core values or accept behavior that doesn't align with how you want to be treated. When you have genuine standards, when you're selective about who you invest your time and energy in, it actually makes you more attractive. People value what they have to work for. They respect those who respect themselves enough to have boundaries. But these standards have to come from a place of self-respect rather than insecurity or fear. The most attractive men are simultaneously accepting and selective. They can appreciate people for who they are, while also being clear about what they want in their own lives. They don't try to change people, but they also don't settle for situations that don't serve them. This balance between acceptance and standards creates a dynamic that people find both comfortable and challenging. Here's another crucial insight about attraction. Timing and context matter enormously. The same person can be incredibly attractive in one context and completely unattractive in another. This is why focusing on your overall lifestyle and life situation is so important. When your life is in order, when you're happy and fulfilled, when you're growing and progressing toward your goals, you naturally become more attractive in almost any context. This is about creating what psychologists call an attractive lifestyle. This doesn't mean having expensive things or living extravagantly. It means living intentionally, having experiences that genuinely interest you, surrounding yourself with people who challenge and inspire you, engaging in activities that help you grow. When your life itself is attractive, you become attractive by association. The concept of vulnerability is particularly important for men to understand, because many men have been taught that vulnerability is weakness. But psychological research shows us that appropriate vulnerability is actually one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. Vulnerability isn't about emotional dumping or being needy. It's about being willing to be seen, to share your authentic thoughts and feelings, to admit when you don't know something or when you've made a mistake. The most attractive men have learned to balance strength with vulnerability, confidence with humility, independence with connection. They're not afraid to show that they're human, that they have depth and complexity, that they're capable of genuine emotion. This emotional availability and authenticity creates the foundation for real intimacy and connection. Physical presence and body language deserve special attention because they communicate so much before you ever say a word. The way you carry yourself, the way you move through space, the way you use your body language all send powerful signals about your confidence, your comfort level, your social intelligence. But authentic, attractive body language isn't about following a script or memorizing specific poses. It's about becoming genuinely comfortable in your own skin. This comfort comes from physical fitness, not because you need to look perfect, but because being in good physical condition makes you feel better about yourself and gives you natural confidence. It comes from good posture and breathing, which project calm confidence. It comes from moving with purpose and intention rather than nervousness or hesitation. Most importantly, it comes from being present in your body rather than being in your head, worrying about how you appear to others. Eye contact is perhaps the most powerful form of nonverbal communication, and most men either avoid it completely or overdo it in an uncomfortable way. Natural, confident eye contact isn't about staring or trying to intimidate. It's about being comfortable seeing and being seen. It's about being present with the person you're talking to. It's about not being afraid of the intensity that can come with real connection. The vocal qualities that create attraction are also crucial to understand. It's not about having a deep voice or speaking loudly. It's about speaking with intention and conviction. It's about varying your tone and pace to create interest. It's about being comfortable with pauses and silence. Most importantly, it's about speaking from a place of genuine confidence rather than nervousness or insecurity. Let's address the elephant in the room, the difference between influence and manipulation. Understanding psychology and human nature isn't about manipulating people into being attracted to you. It's about removing the barriers that prevent your authentic attractiveness from shining through. It's about developing the qualities that create genuine connection and mutual attraction. Manipulation is about getting what you want without regard for the other person's well-being. Authentic attraction is about creating situations where both people benefit, where both people feel good about the interaction, where both people are choosing to engage because they genuinely want to. The goal isn't to trick someone into being attracted to you. The goal is to become genuinely attractive. This brings us to the concept of abundance versus scarcity thinking. Men who struggle with attraction often operate from a scarcity mindset. They believe that opportunities are rare, that they need to hold on to any interest they receive, that they should be grateful for any attention they get. This desperate energy is incredibly unattractive and actually repels the very thing they're seeking. Abundant thinking comes from having a full life, from knowing your worth, from understanding that the right connections will happen naturally when you're focused on being your best self. It's not about being arrogant or dismissive. It's about being genuinely confident that you have value to offer and that there are people out there who will appreciate that value. The role of humor in attraction cannot be overstated, but it's often misunderstood. Humor isn't about being a clown or constantly trying to entertain people. The most attractive form of humor is intelligent observational humor that shows you see the world in interesting ways. It's about being able to find lightness and playfulness in situations without being inappropriate or offensive. Good humor also demonstrates social intelligence. It shows that you can read a room, that you understand what's appropriate in different contexts, that you can create positive emotions in others. But forced humor, trying too hard to be funny, or using humor to mask insecurity is transparent and unattractive. Intellectual attraction is another dimension that many men overlook. People are drawn to those who can engage them mentally, who can introduce them to new ideas, who can have interesting conversations about meaningful topics. This doesn't mean showing off your intelligence or trying to impress people with big words. It means being genuinely curious about the world, having your own thoughts and opinions, being able to discuss things that matter to you with passion and insight. The ability to create and maintain interesting conversations is a skill that dramatically increases your attractiveness. This isn't about having a list of topics or questions memorized. It's about being genuinely interested in other people, asking thoughtful questions, sharing your own experiences and perspectives, and creating a dynamic where both people are engaged and contributing. Now let's talk about the long-term aspects of attraction. Many men focus so much on initial attraction that they forget about what sustains attraction over time. The qualities that make someone attractive for a night might be very different from the qualities that make someone attractive for a lifetime. Sustained attraction comes from continued growth, from remaining interesting and challenging, from maintaining your own identity while building something together. This is why personal development isn't just about becoming more attractive initially. It's about staying attractive over time. The most magnetic men are those who are committed to continuous growth, who are always working on becoming better versions of themselves, who remain curious and engaged with life regardless of their relationship status. The integration of all these principles isn't about becoming perfect or never making mistakes. It's about developing a solid foundation of genuine confidence, social intelligence, purpose, and authenticity that allows you to navigate social situations naturally. When these qualities become part of who you are rather than something you're performing, attraction becomes effortless. Remember, the goal isn't to attract everyone. The goal is to attract the right people, those who appreciate your authentic self and share your values and vision for life. When you focus on becoming genuinely attractive rather than just appearing attractive, you naturally filter for higher quality connections. The journey of developing authentic attractiveness is ultimately a journey of personal development. It's about becoming someone you genuinely respect and admire. It's about building a life that you find fulfilling and meaningful. It's about developing the emotional intelligence and social skills that allow you to connect deeply with others. When you commit to this kind of genuine growth, attraction becomes a natural byproduct of who you are rather than something you have to work at. This is the real secret that the most attractive men understand. Attraction isn't something you do, it's something you are. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, when you live with purpose and passion, when you treat others with genuine respect and interest, when you maintain your own standards and boundaries while remaining open to connection, you become naturally magnetic. The psychology of attraction is complex, but the application is simple. Become someone worth being attracted to. Do the inner work, develop your confidence, pursue your passions, build meaningful relationships, take care of your physical and mental health, learn to communicate effectively, develop your emotional intelligence, stay curious about life and other people. When you embody these qualities authentically, attraction happens naturally. You don't have to chase it, force it, or manufacture it. You simply become the kind of person that others naturally want to be around, and the right connections will follow. This is the path to genuine, lasting attractiveness that serves both you and everyone you encounter.